Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday. Sorry I'm late. Of course, when I'm going live, Skylar has to go out and potty like just a few minutes before the stream. Every damn time. She's got like horrible timing, y'all. Anyways, hey Mike, good morning, Donald. I would love for you to look into the death of Sam Cooke. I'll do that, Donald, when I get time. He was killed in a hotel lobby. Many believe he was set up. The case is now reopened. Yeah, I think I looked that up one day on my live stream. Interesting case, but sad. Hey, Hibiscus, good morning. Cement Shoes, good morning. Good to see ya. So, how's everybody doing? Oh my gosh, guys, I had planned to like live stream all last week, but Monday night, something horrible happened to my brother. Um, and I didn't want to make a community post about it or anything. I've been so stressed out. I wanted to just tell y'all in person. Cement Shoes, everyone hit the thumbs up. Member for 31 months. Oh, thank you, Cement Shoes. I just love you. You've always been so loyal and a good friend to me. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone. But anyways, my brother overdosed Monday night, and I didn't learn about it until Tuesday morning. Because I go to bed, honey, at night. Anyways, my brother lives, my oldest brother, I got two brothers. Actually, I got three, but one lives in North Carolina, and I didn't meet him till about like 16 years ago. But, anyways, my oldest brother, we call him Pooh, that's his nickname. My mom found him outside of her house. She heard him outside and she went out there, and he was overdosing. She had Narcan. She went and got that. Squirted up his nose. That didn't help. My uncle came up, and where he keeps foster kids and stuff, he has to keep like Narcan and stuff because some of those teenagers, you don't know what they'll do. You have to just be prepared. So he came up there with two things of Narcan, put up my brother's nose. It brought him back, but my mom said that he was dying, and he tried. She said that he woke up, y'all, from that Narcan like nothing was happening. Said he woke up and was like, "Where's Bub?" Bub's my other brother, my youngest brother. He's younger than me. I'm in the middle, and Pooh's the oldest. And just like nothing had happened, but the next day he didn't want the rescue squad called or anything. Because if you call the rescue squad, then the police come. They don't like none of that. Um, but anyways, the next day he admitted that it was fentanyl. And he had showed my mom with some salt just how much he had took, and it was like a little bitty bit, and it about killed him. Yeah, and that's had me so just stressed out. And Annabelle's sick. I thought she was getting better, but she's suffering from bloat, which can be fatal. I've got her some stuff to try to help that. She seems to be a little bit better. Um, but all last week I was just so stressed out, and I could just think about my brother. And it just reminded me of a dream I had about 15 years ago. Somebody opened my door. Well, the cat. About 15 years ago, I had this dream that my brother died, and the dream felt real. I was like walking up the steps of the funeral home. It was like the old funeral home that's closed down. But anyways, I could see him plain as day laying there, in the casket. And that dream traumatized me. And it's just had me freaked out, afraid, he's going to pass away. It's so stressful, guys, when you got loved ones that's on drugs, has a bad addiction problem. It's just sad. Because they told me in rehab years ago, I don't know if the statistics has changed or whatever, but they told me the lifespan of someone in active addiction is about 10 years. I mean, he's all right now, and he's sober right now, knitting artisan. Um, God Almighty, I hope he doesn't do any more of that. What was he thinking? When you're in addiction like that, you're not thinking. You're just thinking about getting high, getting high. And like I told my mom, I was like, I watched a video. Skylar, could you please quit chewing yourself? Your foot. Thank you. Goodness gracious. I watched a video of this cop. She pulled over somebody. She got a dollar bill out of their vehicle with her bare hands, I guess. Anyways, it had fentanyl on it. I guess they'd snorted fentanyl through that dollar bill. And it like went in through her skin and overdosed her. And if her partner hadn't have been there and gave her Narcan, she would have died. Mike, my brother died from a overdose. Oh, Mike, I'm so sorry to hear that. I think you've told me that before, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, you mean you can't even like back when I was active in addiction over 10 years ago. Hey, Broken Justice, my mom had me sent off, forcefully sent off. They called it TDO, temporary detaining order. They can hold you. How many hours was that? They sent me off like several different times, and I'm talking about like 3 and 4 hours away from here. I think that I was in Galax in rehab, like probably about 3 different times, which is about 3 or 4 hours from here. But now you can't do that. You can't. You can't TDO. My mom has tried it. So that's why he's like not being sent off against his will. Is because they won't do it anymore like they used to. I don't know why. Used to, I believe they could hold you about 72 hours, is what I think. But, anyways, enough of that. Y'all pray for him. I wish he would straighten his life up. You know, he's about 7 years older than me. It's time for him and my other brother, too, which is about a year and a half younger than me, to straighten up. I'm getting those things done while on my tablet. Hello, everyone. I've been watching a lot of YouTube, like when I've been messing around the house, and there is a lot of true crime going on YouTube. People scamming people. I've been watching that Chroma community, y'all. People scamming people. People asking people for money and stuff. Oh my gosh, it's just crazy. I tell you what, you can get in trouble for collecting money under false pretenses. You can. And really, people like that should be prosecuted for taking advantage of people. But guys, pay attention when people tell you these pity stories about, why they need money. Well, it's a red flag, anyways, for someone to reach out from behind the scenes and ask you for money, unless it's like a situation that can be proven. Oh, Broken, I know you're not a part of that. No, 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 no. I'm not, I'm talking about people, you know, reaching out to other people, giving them pity stories and taking advantage of them. I feel bad for MKB, Broken Justice. I do, because I do think that she is a nice person. I think she's a good-hearted person. And no offense to this, but I do think she's a little naive. You know, I was too when I first started YouTube. She just needs to be careful. Anyways, well, let's do some true crime. We don't want to get into all that. Um, yeah, but anyways, I felt bad for her, especially when she was crying. Okay. So I came across this story this morning and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy went and killed a sex offender, someone that was like, I guess, done some kind of sex crime back in like 1979. Anyways, he went and killed this elderly man. He knew this man he went into his house, killed him with a shovel, and finished him off, he told police, with a moose antler. Ah, I get my laptop. Okay, so there's the dad. There's a whole story to it. I'm gonna read it to you. I guess he had had this man in court before. It says a Minnesota man allegedly confessed to beating a convicted sex offender to death with a shovel because of concerns that the victim was stalking his young daughter. Just before 5 p.m. Wednesday, the Cook County Sheriff's Office in northern Minnesota received a 911 call from someone who said they saw a person smash into a vehicle in the driveway of 77-year-old Lawrence B. Scully and then enter the man's home in the city of Grand Marias or something. I can't pronounce that, y'all. If y'all can see it, maybe y'all can pronounce it. The caller reported hearing screaming about a minute later, told a dispatcher that the subject appeared to be driving to the local police station about 3 blocks away. Authorities say the individual was 27-year-old Levi Axtell, who then walked into the police station covered in blood, confessed to striking Scully up to 20 times with the shovel before he finished him off with the moose antler, according to court documents. Axtell is said to have told police that he was concerned Scully, a sex offender who was found guilty of molesting a 6-year-old girl in 1979, was stalking his young daughter at her daycare facility. Okay. Axtell had known Scully for years and believed him to have sexually offended against children in the past, the criminal complaint states. Axtell reportedly told police that he saw Scully parked at locations where children were present and believed he would reoffend. Well, why didn't he call police and report that and take some pictures or video so that he could prove it and take it to police? In 2018, Axtell sought and obtained an order of protection against Scully for his then 2-year-old daughter, but the order was in effect only for several weeks for reasons that are not clear. Interesting. So they have a history. I mean, why did he seek an order of protection against this man for his 2-year-old daughter? But it was only in effect for a little bit, but the reasons are not clear. Maybe there wasn't enough evidence and they dropped the order. Scully was well known in the community and had run for mayor in 2014. Why would a convicted sex offender run for freaking mayor? That shouldn't even be allowed. You shouldn't even be allowed to run for anything if you're a convicted sex offender. I don't care if it did happen in 1979. Approximately 2 years ago, Axtell posted, "Only cure for pedophiles, a bullet," on Facebook, according to the Minneapolis Star Tribune. Axtell was in court on Friday for an arraignment and is being detained on a $1 million bond. His criminal record shows previous misdemeanor charges for underage drinking and disorderly conduct. The next court hearing for Axtell is scheduled for April 10th. You cannot take the law into your own hands because you think someone is going to reoffend. What if this guy right here, I don't know, he must have some kind of mental illness, like he had some kind of fixation on this guy that he was going to molest children, reoffend, which most sex predators do reoffend. But why not just document his behavior instead of going and killing him? I hate sex predators too, but I cannot take the law into my own hands and go kill one. Do I think they need to be put to death by the state? Yes, but not by civilians. If if he really was like parked outside the daycare and stuff, he's not supposed to be around kids, right? Within so many feet of them. So he should have documented that and went about it the legal way. But for some reason, I mean, these two got a history. For some reason, he went and got a protection order against this Scully guy when his daughter was 2 years old. But it only lasted for a couple weeks. Then it was dropped. Nobody knows why. I would say, my opinion, it was dropped because there was no evidence. I think this guy might have had a fixation on the Scully guy because he was a sex offender. Y'all remember that other guy that a while back that, like, I think he shot his neighbor because he was a sex offender? And he said he saw him looking at kids and stuff. Anyways, he done a news interview and he was like proud. He was like proud of killing that sex predator. Shelley, hey, welcome. I guess he figured out the law wasn't doing anything. He had no choice. Well, yeah. I wonder if he has a little of something wrong. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe he just had it in his head that that guy was going to do something to his daughter because he was a sex predator. That's what I'm thinking. Definitely don't blame him though. He felt that he had to do it for his child. No one was helping him and his mind. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with I mean, I don't know all the circumstances, so I can't really give a whole opinion. Just my thoughts right now. I just wish he would have documented this if he was outside of the daycare and things like that. I'd love to know the whole story to this. Like, why did this guy go get that protection order when his child was 2 years old? What was that all about? I feel like we're not getting the whole story here. I'm sorry, but someone hurts a child, they got whatever coming to them. He should have called police department. I can't blame him. I am sorry he's facing prison. Well, I mean, I'll tell you this right now. If someone hurt my child, I'm going to prison. I mean, I wouldn't be able to control myself. So that's what I'd like to know, like the whole story to this, to why he went and murdered this guy. There's got to be more than he just thought he was a sex predator and going to reoffend. There's got to be more to it than it. He has deal on the table. I hope he takes it. Yeah. There's some information we don't have. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but I wish that he would have because if there's a sex offender sitting outside of daycare and you got like video footage and stuff of it, you could take that to the police. And that like violates their probation or whatever it's called. It has to. Hey Vicky, good morning. Anyways, I hope they put out some more information. If they do, I'll share it with you guys and we'll talk about it more. Um Anyways, it's a sad case now because he's going to go to prison, and his daughter's not going to have him there with her. Hopefully, he gets. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it because I just feel like there's so much missing. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Well, let's say prayers for his daughter and, and family because they are totally shook over this. Little girl's probably wondering where daddy's at. Idaho College murders. Search warrants. I can't talk as warrants issued to dating apps, social media banks. Let's see what this is about. New details have been released about the massive scope of the police investigation into the murders of four University of Idaho students. Let's see. Over the past several weeks, the judge presiding over the criminal prosecution of Brian Koberger, the man accused of the slayings, issued orders to seal and redact records related to search warrants served on about 60 major companies, financial institutions, and law enforcement agencies. The orders prevent public disclosure of records related to the warrants, such as what the recipient, I guess, produced in response. The court concluded that the materials contain highly intimate facts or statements, which would be highly objectable to a reasonable person. Further, the court wrote, in some instances, that the documents contain facts or statements that might threaten the safety of or endanger the life or safety of individuals. Some of these search warrants sought information about Koberger, while other warrants requested information on the victims. He's a real freaking nut. Really, a real nut. Why does he remind me of Ted Bundy for? I don't know. He just does a little bit. Search warrants, I cannot say that, were served on tech firms like Amazon, Apple, eBay, DoorDash, Google, various dating sites, apps, Facebook, Parent, what is that? Meta, PayPal, Venmo, Yahoo, and Yik Yak. What in the hell is that? I'm probably not even saying it right. Phone and communication providers also received warrants like AT&T and Verizon Wireless. Numerous banks and financial service companies received warrants. In addition to the, oh my gosh, I cannot say that word, Police Department Forensic Lab and Moscow Police Department. I can't say that. Co or something other. Abilene Police Department. Okay, hold on, guys. My ankle's itching. Authorities allege that Koberger, 28, fatally stabbed the victims at their off campus home in Moscow, Idaho, around 4 a.m. on Sunday, November 13th. At the time, he was in the first year of criminology PhD program at nearby Washington State University in Pullman, Washington. Well, he is not as smart as what he thought he was. He thought he could get by with murder because he, so smart. I think I read one time that or watched an interview or something with someone on that campus that knew him, and they said that he always wanted to let everybody know how smart he is. I hate people like that. Okay, let's see. He is scheduled to appear in court on June 26th for a preliminary hearing on four charges of first degree murder, one charge of burglary, I can't say that word correctly, with intent to commit murder. He remains detained in the county jail, Latah County Jail. I think it's how you say that. And that's it. It's going to be an interesting trial to hear everything that they've got against this weirdo. Thank God that they caught him. Thank goodness. I think he killed that dog in that neighborhood. I really do. I think it's weird someone killed a dog and then the murders happen. I mean, could be coincidence, but not in my opinion. I'm surprised he didn't kill the dog. What's the girl's name that had the dog? Was it Kaylee? Hold on a minute. I thought I hear something crying. It's Cleo, my cat. I'm in harness training her, guys. Anyways, let's look at the chat. Um, yeah, prayers to the family. Hi, Blanche. Am I saying that right? Colleen Scary. He was studying criminal science. Yeah. He also studied about serial killers and stuff too. And he believed that he could get by with murder. He must not watch Friends. See, he don't, he's probably book smart, but not a lot of common sense. You always leave trace evidence behind. Always. You always leave some kind of evidence behind. I have seen cases where it was almost like they could have got by with murder, but they ended up confessing in interrogation because the cops really didn't have any physical evidence against them. I have seen that happen before, but not very often. Not very often. Okay. Anyways, let's move on. See what else is going on. I love reading the true crime news with y'all. Hold on. Let me make sure this is my son not messaging me. It was snowing outside. Oh, I'm going to doctor. Okay, that's my mom. All right, let's see. I saw something about Murdoch in here this morning. Let me go see if I can find that. But first, here's something interesting I wanted to read. Louisiana couple arrested for killing a newborn 31 years ago. 31 years ago. Let's read this. And I will share this because it's got a picture of Tombstone. Just let me get the ads down. Anybody, how'd they live with themselves all them years? You got to be really evil to hurt a child, especially your own child, any child. Okay, let's present this. Finally, this baby's going to get justice. Okay, it says Heaven's Angel, April 15th, 1992. How sad. It's so sad, like, when I go up to my family cemetery and see those little bitty tombstones. They're, like, from babies that died, like, years ago, 50 years ago, but it's still sad. A lot of the ones at our cemetery were stillborn. Let's see. Like my granny's sister, she had a baby. It was stillborn and it had like a little cleft palate. Bless its little heart. It's buried at our family cemetery. So here's these weirdos. The 50-year-old parents of a newborn found dead in a garbage bag in 1992 have been arrested on first-degree murder charges in the baby girl's death. Lord have mercy. Let me see if I can say the names. Inga Carrier or something, and Andrew Carrier or something, the second, have been booked into the Jefferson Parish Correctional Facility in Louisiana, pending extradition to Mississippi, where the infant's body was found. They're being held without bond. According to WVUE, excuse me, Skylar, you scratch your ear another time. Um, just overlooked that noise. A farmer found the girl's body on April 17th, 1992, while he was feeding his animals and pulled a trash bag from a dumpster in Picayune, Mississippi. The body was wrapped in a towel in the trash bag. Oh my gosh. An autopsy determined the child was likely born on the morning she was found and lived a few minutes before being smothered. Police reopened the case in August 2021 after the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations got a grant to cover forensic genetic testing on evidence more than 29 years old. The DNA testing pointed to this weirdo couple, and I cannot pronounce their last names. Carriers, maybe? Carriers? Wow. Why would they do that to their own child? Why not just take the child and be like, here, hey, I don't want the baby. Put it up for adoption. Why smother it? It takes a cold hearted son of a bitch to do that. Pieces of crap. I hope they rot in hell. Mississippi investigators were aided by the Louisiana State Police. WVUE said the crime was determined to have taken place in Louisiana, but did not explain why they are being extradited to Mississippi to face the charges. Maybe, maybe they think the baby was born in Mississippi and discarded in Louisiana. I don't know. They are pieces of crap. And here's that little baby's tombstone. At least she was buried and had a tombstone. People are freaking evil. I watched this Deadly Women episode, y'all, and this woman, she kept getting pregnant and having babies. hiding her pregnancy, having them at home. The babies were being born alive, and she was smothering them, and then she'd put them in storage boxes. And she moved around throughout the years, and she'd take them babies' bodies with her. But one of the babies' bodies got put like in a storage place, and this is how she got caught. And she didn't pay her bill. So, they auctioned off the stuff inside, and this man bought it. Um, he started going through the boxes and found a baby in a box. It's probably been dead for probably 20 years. Yeah, she just kept getting pregnant. Why wouldn't you take some birth control pills if you didn't want babies? And how could you do that? Sick freak. Did you see that, Colleen, that episode? I'm going to have to find that and write down her name, and we're going to have to do a live stream on her. Okay. Hopefully, they'll give us an update about that. Now, what else was I looking for? Oh, that Murdoch. Because, like, one of the EMTs, I saw an article. One of the EMTs said that when they got to the scene, that Maggie had a handful of hair in her hand. I was just watching. Well, it was playing on TV. I was kind of listening to it, kind of doing things this morning. But there was a documentary about the Murdoch murders. He was talking about Stephen Smith and how the Murdoch name kept coming up in that investigation. And Buster's name came up in that investigation. Uh-oh. Paul Flores gets 25 years to life in prison for murder of Kristen Smart. Oh, wow. We'll have to read that too. Let me find that article. Okay, right here it is. I'm going to have to mute because I got a cough and I hate coughing. I hate coughing when I'm on stream. Okay. Let me screen share this. Well, I don't got to. I'll just read it. Nobody wants to see Alex's face and his fake freaking tears. His tears for himself because, he went to prison. Okay, one of the first investigators to interview Alex following the murders of his wife and son says she believes the convicted killer sought sympathy by shedding fake tears. Fox News report. Let me get this freaking ad down. Bumper's snoring, ladybug. Let's see. Detective Laura Rutland spoke with Murdoch on the night of June 7th, 2021, when Maggie and Paul were gunned down at the family's hunting lodge. Rutland also testified at the trial. In an interview with the news outlet, Rutland said it appeared that Murdoch was trying to make himself cry when he first talked with police about what happened at the dog kennels. She then recounted his demeanor at the trial and on the witness stand. I've seen it in person, and now I've seen it in all of the interviews. He can turn it on and off, Rutland told Fox News, referring to Murdoch's apparent ability to cry. Rutland also discussed several aspects of the case, telling Fox News that she was struck by how clean Murdoch's clothes were at the time of his first police interview on the night of the killings, even though he claimed to have turned Paul's body over and checked for a pulse. Paul and Maggie were shot multiple times. Paul was shot by a shotgun, which caused catastrophic damage to the top of his head. Oh, gosh, ugh. In addition to the biological matter around his body, there was a lot of water, Rutland told Fox News. And the jury was able to see that on Sergeant Green's body cam. It was just so odd that even Alex's shoes were as clean as they were, including the soles of the shoes. That is weird. Because, like, when you're around a place like that and there's water around, like when I go over to the funny farm, it gets muddy. May not be a lot of mud, but your shoes get muddy on the bottom. In addition, Rutland provided further details about something Alex's defense team asked her on the stand regarding strands of hair that were found in Maggie's hand. Yeah, that's what I wanted to read about. When she had suffered her injuries and the bullet exited the back of her head, it created a large hole which displaced that part of her skull, including her scalp and her hair. Rutland told Fox News. Ugh. So all around her, there were small clumps of the back of her hair in the grass around her body. Ugh. Some had fallen near her hands and her arms. And when we removed her body, some of the hair that was on her fingers, it was just a few strands went with her. Okay, so it was probably her own hair. Okay. A jury convicted Murdoch of the murders on March 3rd. He's been sentenced to life in prison. Yeah. 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 They got him what? In a special place, I guess, away from everybody. Probably got him watching him to see if he's going to commit suicide or not. He may. He may end up taking his own life. Who knows? I look for that to happen. I don't wish for that to happen. I just want y'all to know that when I say that, I just look for him to do something like that Castro guy that kidnapped those girls in Cleveland and had them held in his house for 10 damn years. After he got convicted, he took his own life. Happens a lot. Let's see. Are we going to talk about anything else this morning? Probably not, because I've got some things I need to do. I'm going to try to be live in the morning and get back on track. If nothing happens, every time I try, something happens that's beyond, my control and stuff. Anyways, do y'all have any plans for today? Yeah, he killed his own son, and just that's why in that body cam footage, I told y'all, I was like, he just didn't seem that tore up for the condition he would have found his son in. His baby son, right? His brain was out of his head. They had to carry it in a bucket to the autopsy room. And trust me, when you see something like that, it about makes you freaking crazy, or at least it did me for what I went through. I just know what condition I was in seeing something like that. And how I couldn't even talk. My mom smacked me about 2 or 3 times trying to get me. I guess I went into shock. All I could do was scream. I mean, I was so freaking traumatized. And he just was so calm, cool, and collective and using the phone and stuff. I couldn't even call my mom that night. Um, so I just didn't understand, I just knowed how I was seeing something that horrific. And he was just too calm for me, just way too calm to see his son in that damn condition. About all that, I don't even want to think about it, but oh my gosh. They'd probably have to put me in the nut house if I saw my son like that. I don't think I could ever handle going through anything or seeing anything horrific ever again in my life. I hope and pray I never do, because I don't think I'd get through it again. I think it'd make me mad. You know what I mean by mad? Like, I think it would destroy me. Yeah, see, you called him out 2 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. I always figured he'd done it. But I didn't think the only thing I was wrong about is him doing it himself. I didn't think he done it himself because they was shot with 2 different weapons. Of course, I didn't know all the evidence either, but I thought he might have got his cousin to help him or paid somebody. I believe he tried to kill himself. Yeah. He said his cousin helped him do that suicide plot. I was watching, on that documentary what I did here this morning. They was talking to people in the community and stuff like that. And they said he was one of those people. He's like a damn politician, just real friendly, come up, go out of his way to talk to you and all this, trying to act like a damn good old boy. You ain't no damn good old boy when you was born with a silver spoon in your mouth and buy your way out of everything. And listen to this, when Stephen Smith was found dead, Randy Murdoch the next day called Stephen's father and's like, I'll represent you for free. They were freaking ambulance chasers, basically. What people call ambulance. Yeah, Randy's because they know they'd get a big settlement or something. I'll represent you for free because they thought they might be able to sue some kind of insurance or something. Scumbags. Scumbags. I did hear that on that documentary. They said, and they went through Stephen Smith's. I'm going to go back and watch this documentary on demand. They went through like the timeline. Their name kept coming up in his death investigation. That cop that was the head of the investigation, he was saying on that documentary, their name just kept coming up, Buster's name. And it was rumored he was seeing, Stephen had told his sister he was seeing someone that was from a big time family, we call it influential family. I believe that's the way they put it. But he didn't say who. But Buster's name kept coming up in that investigation. And they showed video footage of where Stephen's body was found the day his body was found. They was out there investigating. And you can hear the cops saying there's no glass, there's no skid marks. And he did die from blunt force trauma. There was no like blood or nothing around. He died elsewhere and was put there. I will watch some of your videos. I have crochet years ago, knitting artisan. Yeah, I mean, I like to learn how to crochet again, but I just don't have time right now. Unless I've done it like at night when I'm sitting around watching TV or something. These animals keep me busy. Now I've got all these feral cats to take care of, y'all. I've been trying to tame the little orange tangerine out there is what I call him. I think I'm gonna call him Dax. I like short names for cats. Dax, but he's a little orange tabby cat, and he's wild. He was born back in the winter. I thought he might have froze to death during that freeze, but he made it. So slowly, he's becoming less afraid of me. He does know that he associates me with food. When he sees me, he comes a running. But he's still like weary of me, and he don't like it when I touch him. So I try not to touch him. He'll give in to my charm eventually. I'm a cat whisperer. I've tamed like probably 3 feral cats. And it's not easy gaining the trust of adult feral cats. It's not. CC Critters Overload. I know it. I know it. Mark's like, it's out of control. I went in there the other day after he told me that, and I was like, I touched him on the shoulder. It was funny, y'all, and I said, this is who I am. I love animals. I have a good heart. Nail me to the cross, crucify me for it. You have to accept me for who I am. Excuse me for being a good person. Oh my goodness. But, if I don't feed them, I know we're going to have a bunch of kittens. I know Izzy's pregnant, Shy's pregnant, the other ones is going to be pregnant. But I can't just let something starve. And if I don't feed them, they'll be trying to kill my squirrels and birds to eat. I mean, I feed them and they still trying to get my birds sometimes, which is just, their nature. She's an animal whisperer. I know I'm a cat whisperer, and I never was a cat person. I'm gonna have to get my porch fixed to a catio and put them damn litter boxes out there. I don't like them, y'all. I go scoop them as soon as I hear the cats come out of their box. I'll go in there and I've got 2 litter boxes. I'll scoop them. You can just smell them. Thank you, Colleen. I try to be. I try to be a good person. I can get a little mean sometimes. Every now and then. Anyway, I'll see y'all in the morning if nothing happens. Um, Sorry I didn't let y'all know what was going on last week. I just didn't want, I was trying to process it, stressed out, worried to death, trying to figure out what to do with my brother that I can do with him. And I just didn't want to put it in a community post. I just wanted to tell y'all myself. Um, but, anyways, thanks for chatting and listening and being supportive. I love you guys. I will see y'all tomorrow. Be safe, be kind. Started hurting for some reason.